Hello and good morning, everybody. My name is Christina, and this is Life of Wine and Books. I told you in my last video I might be back. I'm not sure, but I'm back. Today I am starting a Hold Me Accountable blog. It is September 29th. Tomorrow is the last day of the month. I have 3 books I want to finish, and so I'm hoping by vlogging a little bit that I will be held more accountable and I will be able to finally finish these books, because my reading week has not been going the best, and I do know the culprit. I can tell you why. I'm going to show you that in a minute. So these are the 2 physical books I'm reading. The one right here, there we go, is The Witch in the Well. I don't remember the author. There you go, Camilla Bruce. I started it yesterday. It's about 300 pages. I really enjoyed it. But this one over here, European Travels for the Monstrous Gentlewoman by Theodora Goss. That is the one that is doing me in and preventing me from having a successful reading week. Don't get me wrong, I love European Travels for the Monstrous Gentlewoman. I'm enjoying it. It's the second book in the very secret Athena Society, or the Athena Club books, whatever. The first one is The Alchemist's Daughter, The Secret of the Alchemist's Daughter. I think it's just called The Alchemist's Daughter. The second one is over 700 pages. And I'm now realizing why I don't like really long books. This book could easily be 500 pages, and it's just dragging. I feel like I'm like, okay, I'm going to read, I'm going to make great progress reading, and then I feel like I'm not making progress in the book. And it's just not giving me that satisfaction when I read and I feel like I'm making progress, and it's becoming a bit of a chore. At this point, I have 200 pages left. Things are starting to come to a head. It took a long time to get to this point as well, and I think that that is part of the problem. So I'm going to finish it. I want to finish it for this month. I want to finish The Witch in the Well. And then I have my audiobook, which is fan fiction by Brent Spiner from Star Trek. That I have, I think, about an hour of listening time left at about 2 times speed. That'll be done. That'll be definitely done, because tomorrow my husband and I are going to a winery that's about an hour away, and we have some errands to run as well by my mom's house. So I will definitely be able to finish fan fiction. It's these other 2, especially European Travels, that's really doing me in. I'm in my reading spot now. I think my plan is to do European Travels in like 30-page chunks, and then reward myself with The Witch in the Well. It sounds so bad to be like, I'm rewarding myself with a different book. I'm rewarding myself. Makes it seem like European Travels is a chore, and at this point it kind of is. I really don't... I've come this far. I feel like I've come this far. I should finish. The third one is way shorter. The first and third are way shorter. This one is just huge. And so, I don't know, but I think I'm gonna do like 30-page chunks of European Travels and then reward myself with The Witch in the Well, and that will be my reading plan for right now. I'm gonna go read 30 pages and then I will check in with you guys. Bit of a reading update. I read 51, sounds about right, 51 pages of European Travels for the Monstrous Woman, or Monstrous Gentlewoman. I still stand by it. It's too long. There's a lot of these like stories, like, oh, they're like meeting all of these characters, and they are getting these stories from these characters, and it's not like, oh, here, let me tell you a little bit. It's like, here's 10 to 15 to 20 pages of me telling you my entire life story, which is interesting. Like, obviously Theodora Goss put a lot of time and effort into creating these backstories for these characters, but at the same time it's just bogging down the narrative in a way that just really annoys me, and it's just completely unnecessary. I'm also realizing as I'm talking to you now that I don't think I ever told you what this book is about. It's the second book in a series. The first one deals with a woman named Mary. Mary is Dr. Jekyll's daughter, and then she finds out that her father, who's also Mr. Hyde, was part of this group of people who was experimenting on young women to find like immortality and to bring back the dead and all of this. So she gets together with a group, and it has Dr. Moreau's daughter from the Dr. Moreau's Island. I think that's what that one's called. You have someone who was brought back to life by Victor Frankenstein, Rappaccini's daughter, and all of these characters. There's a few others, and they all just kind of come together. So this is the second book in this trilogy, and it's good at its heart. It's so bogged down and unnecessarily long. But I did reach I said I was going to read 30 pages. I read 50 some pages, so I went over my goal. I'm going to reward myself by jumping into The Witch and the Witch in the Well. And that's going to be what I focus on next. Hello, I'm back with a little bit of a reading update, and Willow has heard me talking and wants to see what's up. So I read about 50 some pages, 52, 53 pages of The Witch in the Well by Camilla Bruce, and I'm enjoying it a lot. I don't think I ever said what this book is about. It's set in a town where in the 1800s a woman was accused of being a witch after these children disappeared near a well near her house. And so the townspeople got angry and threw her down this well, and she drowned. Then we jump forward, and we have these two women, and they're in their like 30s or 40s, and they had been friends as teenagers. You have Kathy, who was very unpopular and lived in this small town. And then you have Elena, who was very popular from the city, and she would come to this town every summer to spend the summer with her uncle, who owned this big house. Elena's uncle has died, and she has returned to this house to empty it out. And she's also a social media influencer. She's very big on like crystals and past lives and all of that new age stuff. I'm gonna apologize now. Willow is eating, so I know the mic picks this up. There's not much I can do about it. So Elena comes to this town and to clear out her uncle's house, and she runs into Kathy, and Kathy is very much, everybody's out to get her. The world is out to get her. Just this whole thing. Her husband had an affair and left her. And Kathy was a teacher for a while, and she's convinced that the teachers at her school are talking about her. So she'll like go into the teacher's lounge, and her coworkers will be like laughing and stuff, and she'll be like, they're laughing at me. Oh my God. And she goes to the principal and she's like, they're laughing at me, make them stop. And the principal's like, they're on their lunch break, just having fun. So you have Kathy, and then you have Elena, who is into all this new age stuff, but then she becomes kind of like weirdly obsessed. She thinks that she's like channeling, Elizabeth, the witch's spirit and everything, and she describes herself. She's like, I think I'm like a prophet meant to like bring all of this information to everybody. And they have this, it's like this back and forth with Kathy and Elena, because Kathy was writing a book about Elizabeth, the witch, and it was very much like a novel and kind of telling her story, and she was not a witch, she was wrongly accused, very similar to like what you get from like a lot of women who were accused of witchcraft way back when. But then Elena is like, no, Elizabeth was a witch, and she's told me this, and I need to write my book to tell everybody. And so there's like this back and forth, and you find out, I don't want to spoil stuff, but I'm trying to think of how to word it. You have from Kathy's point of view, her point of view is all told through these open letters that she's writing and publishing in the local paper. And so at that point, you find out what happens between her and Elena at the end of the book. And it's her kind of saying like, no, this is the real story. Then Elena's story is told through her diary entries. And then on top of that, you have like this weird other something. I'm sorry, Willow is, well, wait, she's done, of course. So you have these weird like diary entries, not these diary, like these weird entries. I don't really know what they are yet, but I'm very interested to see. And then on top of that, you also have Willow. You have excerpts from Kathy's book, that novel that she was working on. And because of her personality, she's like fully convinced that like Elena knew that she was writing a book and is trying to sabotage her, because like remember, everybody's out to get her. So I'm about 150 or so pages in, about at the halfway point. I thought this would be a very spooky, scary type of book, and it's not, but it's not bad. It's not bad. It's just more of the friendship dynamic. I think it will get spooky, scary towards the end. But I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Part of the reason I think I am is because it's witches, and I love witch books. I've read so many this year, and it's mixed media, and I love a good mixed media book. So I think that's why I'm enjoying it so far. But right now I'm going to take a break, have some lunch, switch back to European Travels for the Monstrous Gentlewoman, do a bit of that. My mom and my grandma are stopping by to drop off some papers. I want to try to get some more of European Travels done before they come over, and then that way I can reward myself with more of The Witch in the Well. Time for a bit of a reading update. Sorry, this lighting is absolutely garbage. I have the Roomba running downstairs. You can probably hear it. So I came upstairs to do a quick update. I did change my shirt. I'm wearing it's hard to see. It says, take a look. It's in a book, and it has the Reading Rainbow. Anyway, I have about 80 pages left total in European Travels for Monstrous Gentlewoman. And I just, at this point, I'm like, I want it done. Had this book been, like I said, 200 pages shorter, I would have enjoyed it more. I feel like I'm being repetitive at this point, which is one of my complaints about the book. So I'm just not going to go into it again. At this point, you should know I'm tired of it. It needs to be shorter. I do want to read more of The Witch in the Well, but I will see you guys. I'll check in a little bit. I do have an Amazon package coming soon, so we might do an unboxing. Not entirely sure. My husband should be coming home from work, not dinner, work soon as well. And it is Friday, so we'll probably have pizza and just kind of hang out and chill a little bit. But I do want to get a little more reading done. Hello, just checking in. It's like 8 o'clock and I'm exhausted. This lighting is garbage. We're just rolling with the punches at this point. I am in my pajamas. We had pizza. We watched a really good episode of Star Trek Next Generation. We've been watching it. We're about halfway-ish, a little over halfway through the whole show. So we've been working on that, watching that, and now I think I'm going to get in bed, read a little bit more of The Woman in the Well. I was saying to my husband, I think another complaint I have with European Travels is the fact that it's so big. Like, I can't lay down on the couch or like lay in bed and read it because it's like a really big, thick book. So I can only read it like sitting up, and that's kind of annoying. Like, I've actually been like reading it. We have a coffee table that lifts up, and I've been reading it like sitting on the couch, having it out on the, like laid out on the table. I have both my books just because I brought them both upstairs. I have a glass of wine, and I think I'm going to do a little more of The Witch in the Well, not The Woman in the Well, The Witch in the Well, and I will try to remember to check back in with you one more time before I call it a night. Saturday morning. It's about 8:15. I have Willow behind me. We just got up. I finished The Witch in the Well last night, which I did not expect to do, but I did. I'm going to run it through Cawpile on my Notion, and then I'm going to share my thoughts with you. The plan for the day is at 11 o'clock. one of my favorite creators, Emily Cromwell Designs. I'm wearing one of her shirts right now. Very cute. Is launching her Halloween line, so definitely need to be ready for that. Then the rec center by my mom's house is doing a community shred event, and we have a milk crate full of papers, so we're going to move that to like a box like type thing instead of like a milk crate that we can just leave there and have that shredded. Then we're going to head up to a winery about an hour away, and then my neighbor's friend is going to stop by this evening because he wants to see my husband's 3D printer. I also want to finish Fan Fiction by Brent Spiner, which I realized this morning I never told you about, so I'll jump on and tell you about that at some point. I also want to finish European Travels for the Monstrous Gentlewoman. Very busy day planned, some fun, some businessy type things, a little bit of everything. But for right now, I am going to run The Witch in the Well through Cot Pile, then I'll hop back on and tell you my final thoughts. Alright, so I got some work done, and I'm here to tell you my final thoughts on The Witch in the Well. I thought that it had a lot of potential. I just don't think it got to where I wanted it to go. I think the plot at the end was kind of all over the place. It got a bit convoluted. And I know I talked earlier in the vlog about like, oh yeah, there's like these weird like documents that are included. That all comes out and makes sense. But it took a while to get there. And it wasn't like super disappointing. It was just kind of meh. It was okay. It came out to about 3.5 stars on Cot Pile, which is about what I would rate it. I'd rate it between a 3 and a 3.5. So I'm just gonna trust that system, and yeah, I thought that the characters were done really well. They were horrible people. They were absolutely horrible. And sometimes I enjoy books where there's like horrible characters because you're supposed to hate them. And if they're done really well, that speaks to the author's writing capabilities. If the author is writing characters that are just horrible and you hate them so much. So yeah, that is my thoughts on The Witch in the Well. One book down for this reading vlog, this Hold Me Accountable reading vlog. I have 2 more. I have European Travels for the Monstrous Gentlewoman, and then I have Fan Fiction by Brent Spiner, which I realized I never talked about. So, I am a Trekkie. I was born and raised on Star Trek, and my husband and I are actually watching all of Star Trek Next Generation together. It's our first time watching it. I was raised on it, but I was like really, really little. Like it ended when I was like 3 or 4. Like where we are now, we're halfway through the show, and we're about a year away from when I was born. So it ended really when I was not even 3 or 4. But like my parents would watch reruns on TV. I had Star Trek toys, all of that. I definitely had more of an emotional connection to Star Trek Voyager, which my husband and I watched back in like 2020, that time when everybody had more time. So Fan Fiction is by Brent Spiner, who plays Lieutenant Commander Data. Data is an android, and he is kind of learning how to be human. Think of him kind of like the Spock character, if you're familiar with the original series. So Brent Spiner wrote this memoir. It's a memoir. So the first, 50 pages or so are all things that actually happened, and kind of his origin story as becoming an actor and how he got cast as Data. And then from then, he comes in and he says, okay, everything from this point on is fiction. And it's based off of real events, but it's kind of like a film noir type of thing. It's very tongue-in-cheek, very goofy. You could definitely see like, okay, I get the vibe that maybe this is based on like a real event or something that happened. But the premise is he gets sent a package with something very grotesque in it, and he gets a letter from this fan. He's like, "Dear Daddy, why did you leave me? Why did you abandon me?" And they sign it Lal, which is the name of an android that Data created in Star Trek The Next Generation to be his child, to be his daughter. And the funny thing is, the day before I started this book, we had watched that episode. So I had that context like really fresh in my mind. I thought it was hilarious. And so he goes to the police, and it's like all this chaos, and it's very much like the incompetent police, and this and that, and he has a bodyguard and all of this stuff. So what makes it really cool is there's sound effects. So like when he gets in the car, you can hear the car door open and close. When there's an earthquake, you could hear the rumbling, things like that. And then on top of that, all of the cast members except Wil Wheaton, because he makes the excuse, well, Will is too young to deal with this, because he was probably like 15, 16, 17 at the time. All the actors do their own voices. So when he's having a conversation with Patrick Stewart, it's Brent Spiner, and then Patrick Stewart is talking back, and it's actually Patrick Stewart. And when he's having a conversation with LeVar Burton, it's actually LeVar Burton talking back to him and things like that. And then all the other actors are doing themselves. Jonathan Frakes' wife, I think, does her own voice. And just like different, if he's talking to his female bodyguard, it'll be a female's voice, and things like that. So it feels more like a radio play than a book. I'm really enjoying it. It is kind of strange. Do I wish at times that it was a straightforward memoir? Yeah, but at the same time, you know, I feel like most Star Trek actors are writing memoirs at this point, so what's one more? Might as well have some fun with it. Speaking of that, my mom and I actually on Wednesday, I'm so excited, guys. I'm so excited. My mom and I got us tickets to see Patrick Stewart. Oh my God. Patrick Stewart from Star Trek, from X-Men, renowned theater actor, Shakespeare actor, best friend of Ian McKellen, all that. We got tickets because he has a memoir coming out. It comes out Tuesday. It's called Making It So. And he's doing like a talk. It's gonna be like in a big theater, but I got us tickets. I got us like good tickets. I paid a little extra. I'm like, we're getting the good tickets. I'm so excited. So that's on Wednesday. I don't think I'm gonna vlog it, but I'll put it on my Instagram, and my Instagram is always linked down below. But yeah, that is my reading update, kind of rambling along. I think I have to wake my husband up soon. It's almost 9. Then I have some more. I wrote up some reviews for Bookstagram. I have some photos to take. I have some graphics to make. And then we are going to head out for the day and have a day of adventures. I also have to text my neighbors. So lots of things to do, and I'm going to go get on that right now. I'll check in with you guys at some point. I definitely want to try to finish European travels before we leave for the day, because I'll probably be tired when we get back, and we're going to a winery, so there's going to be wine involved. So I'll probably check in then. At that point, I'll probably have makeup on, and I'll look less a mess. I'm probably gonna wear this shirt today because it's just so cute. But put like real pants on, not leggings and things like that. So I've rambled enough. I'm gonna let y'all go, but I'll check in with you guys when I finish European travels for the Monstrous Gentlewoman. Hello everybody, it is me with very frizzy hair. Wow, that's really bad. To close out this vlog, it is later in the evening. I did finish both European travels for the Monstrous Gentlewoman and fan fiction, so I'm going to give you my thoughts on both, and then I have some book mail to open that I thought was coming yesterday, came today, so we're going to open it together. Let's start with my thoughts on the books. So I finished both. I accomplished everything I wanted for this reading vlog. European travels, like I said, it was way too long. It could have been 200 pages shorter. I really liked the ending. I thought it was good. I thought that was a little abrupt though, but overall it was a very enjoyable ending. I don't like how they treated one of the characters, Beatrice, just as a whole. I'm like, oh, Beatrice, you do weird things. You're weird. And then just Catherine felt very repetitive as a time. Like, okay, We know you're a puma. We don't need to be told 10 million times that you are a puma. So I haven't run it through Compile yet. We finished it and then we immediately jumped in the car, got in the car, and left to go to the wineries. And you would have seen some B-roll from that. We went to our favorite winery. We stayed there for a while. We played some games. I won, but then we realized that I took one extra action than I should have. So I technically should not have won, but my husband still gave me the win because he's awesome and he always wins. He always wins. On our way home, we discovered a new winery that's been open for about a year. So we stopped there as well. Did a tasting. We like split tastings a lot of the times. And then we each got a glass. It was really good wine. It was a little pricier. But we really enjoyed it and we'll definitely be back. On the way home, I finished fan fiction. And my husband only heard like the end part of it. And I really like listening to audiobooks with him. We do that when we travel because it's a great chance for us to talk about things and stuff like that. Like we like to watch TV shows together and kind of break it down and talk about our likes and dislikes of each episode. Like I said, we are watching Star Trek Next Generation. And so after each episode, we kind of talk about what did we like, what did we didn't like, all that stuff. So fan fiction had a very cheesy ending. I mean, it was a noir type of book, so that's to be expected. I do think it was a lot of fun. I really wish that at the end Brent Spiner had come in and said, okay, these events really did happen. These events did not happen. Because you got the sense from some of these things that happened that they were based on real events that had happened in his life. But then other things were just fictionalized and amped up. I haven't run either through Compile. I'm thinking they're going to hit in the 3-star range. European travels probably 3.5 or lower. Fan fiction 3.5, 3.75 type of range. With that being said, let's open this book. I did a few random acts of kindness exchanges on Bookstagram lately, and I'll link my Bookstagram down below if you're ever interested in following me. And so I have a book. I don't know what it is, and we're going to open it and find out together. What is this? Okay, it says enjoy your book from ISBN _reading, and it is The Witchery by S. Isabel. I have no idea what it's about. I must have wanted it if I had it on my wish list, so let's find out. Okay, it's cool. It has like these cool black pages. The rest is traditional, but I like that. I like that. Let's see what the naked book is. That's really pretty. I like that. That's really pretty. The front, though, nothing to write home about. It is about Florida. Oh, God. Logan is a new witch struggling to control her powers. She arrives at a coven academy. She's immediately taken under the wing of the infamous Red 3. Iris, a death witch. Thalia, the talented green witch. And Jayla, who's one of the most extraordinary witches at the academy. The haunting season approaching, wolves will soon rise from the swamp to kill, and the humans and witches must work together to survive the yearly onslaught. However, the history between humans and witches is long and bloodied, with the current truce hard won and hanging in the balance. Interesting. Okay, I can definitely see why I added this. I feel like this was like an impulse add to my wish list. I think I should have like a secondary book wish list, like I kind of want but not sure, and then like every few months go in and look, be like, do I really want it, and like move it over to my regular wish list, or do I not want it, I've moved on. This sounds really, really good though. My October TBR, you guys saw it. It's intense. It's a lot. This bad boy might end up on him. We'll have to see. If there's anything I'm a sucker for, it is a witchy book. With that being said, I am going to close out this vlog. Like I said, I finished all 3 books. I don't remember how many pages I read. I do want to do a little bit more reading today because I have a daily goal of 100 pages and European travels, like physical pages. So I don't count audiobooks. And European travels only got me up to 82. So I have to figure out what I want to read. I have to figure out my TBR for next week. I might start this. Like, I haven't done that in a while where I get a book and automatically start it. Who knows? Just let's start out the month by throwing the TBR out completely. I think that's a great way to start the month, actually. So, yeah, keep an eye out. I have some ideas for some other vlogs coming up. In the meantime, if you liked this video, like, subscribe, hit that bell so you get the notifications. Leave a comment below telling me what book you are most looking forward to if you're reading for spooky season. In the meantime, I will see you guys soon. Bye!